Good morning, good afternoon, everybody. Let's try this again, take two. I got bumped off the last time, so we'll just start this over so that we can share this awesome content with you. I know. So let me know where you're joining in from. Today, I'm joining you from the beautiful Spring Creek, Nevada. There's a beautiful mountain range behind me here. It's kind of blocked by our bikes and the back of our back of the Wild Orange, but it's a beautiful mountain range here. And it actually hasn't been that windy here. It's all of a sudden windy. Feel a little bit like I'm back in Laramie, Wyoming. So let me know where you're joining in from. Say hello. And today we're going to be talking about, and if you're joining on the recording or the replay, stick around because we're going to talk about what's your attachment style and why does this matter with everything. And I'm going to give you some really cool tools. Okay, so if you're new to joining with us, my name is Amy Miller, and I have been on a spiritual journey since I was about 10 years old, and I have just discovered some of the most powerful tools that I've ever come across in my life for connecting with God on a deeply spiritual level. And as I learn about these tools, I'm sharing them with you here. So at the beginning of this month, we talked about how to experience true change. And that comes from the inside out. And unless we experience freedom in our spiritual life, then addressing all of these other areas in our wellness, in our building blocks of wellness, are just going to act like a Band-Aid. And Jesus is the only one who can bring true change. And so I'm going to share this link here with you. If you didn't get to join in with us at the beginning of the month on that experiencing true change, I'm going to share that here with you now. But you know, we spend so much time sometimes focusing on our nutrition, our exercise, our rest, and our managing stress and reducing these toxins, or even spending time at the doctor and things when we neglect our most important building block of our wellness, and that is our spiritual well-being. And so today we are going to be free from the past, free from unhealthy relationships, free to grow, free to connect, free to be secure in our relationships. Who doesn't want that? Anybody? Who wants to be secure in the relationships that are around you? Yes. Now, if you joined us the last 2 weeks, we've been talking about Emmanuel journaling. And today we're going to be talking about your attachment style and why does this even matter, or what's the antidote for this. Now, this whole month we've been focused on breathing life into our spirit, where the foundation of our wellness lies, and how to experience true lasting change. Last 2 weeks we talked about a new way to experience Emmanuel, God with us, through interactive journaling. And now we're going to be delving into attachment styles so that we can experience true connection with others. Now, I want to ask you a question. Did you know that joy is directly related to the quality of your relationships and your intimacy? Did you know that? That was something new to me. It makes sense, but it was something new. So share in the comments what your thoughts are on that. Now, we're going to discover these attachment styles. Now, these are not new. They were discovered around the 1960s, 1970s. And so they're not new, but oops, my screens are getting crazy here. Okay, they're not new, but so we're going to go through them and talk about kind of the definitions and some examples, and then I'm going to give you some tools that will kind of help us with this. Okay, so the first attachment style is a dismissive, or what I would also call maybe an avoidant attachment style. And I'm going to read some of these to you. This is kind of when the attachment life to other people, the attachment light, is turned off. So think of this as kind of like the talk to the hand, like building a wall. And I first want you to think about this in relation to your parent or your caregiver growing up, okay? Because this will also help you determine what your attachment style is. So maybe your parent or your caregiver was rarely emotionally available when your needs or your wants were maybe dismissed or minimized. Maybe you couldn't expect connection, and so it was distant. the person was withdrawn as a coping strategy. This may be a highly competent workaholic parent that operates kind of went from duty, but not from joy. Maybe appears uncaring or unavailable. Okay, so that's the dismissive attachment style. Now we're going to talk about the distracted or the anxious attachment style. And this one is where the attachment light is turned on, okay? So this is where your parent or caregiver maybe sent mixed signals about attachment. Maybe the interactions were based on your parents' needs, not yours. And maybe becoming preoccupied with attachment, maybe being highly needy, highly dependent, anxious, focusing on receiving comfort for your distress. Maybe those parent or caregiver that quickly attached in high energy relationships that seem overwhelming, may use neediness or distress to manipulate you for attention. Sorry about that. And so this is that dismissive one. Okay, so let's talk about distracted or the disorganized attachment style. Now, this one may be the most tricky of all of them because this one is where the attachment light is on and off. So it kind of goes back and forth. Maybe the caregiver, your relationship with them was both a source of comfort and of terror. Kind of being afraid of a chaotic and disorganized behavior, maybe like a come here, no go away type of a relationship. And so kind of feeling like when you feel needed or asked to attach, and then they'll be triggered in fear, and then fear could explode into rage, what it seems like for no apparent reason. So, and that relationship can be kind of hostile. So let's talk about the one we want to talk about most, the secure attachment. This is what I would also call like the anchor attachment. And this is when attachment lights go off and on together with whoever you're connecting with. This is this is how God has designed us to attach with people, to be fulfilled in joyful, secure relationships with God and with each other. And when our attachments are secure, our life is powered with joy. We have a high joy capacity. We can synchronize with each other in rhythms of joy and in quiet. We have more of an inner confidence. Okay, so I want you to think through those and see where you kind of see where your parent or caregiver lies, and then maybe that can help you determine where your attachment style lies with your children, with your relationships, and can help you move towards more a secure attachment style. So I'm going to give you some simple tools. Okay, so first one for dismissive or that avoidant. And hey, if you want more information, I have a couple of videos that can describe these a little bit more into detail. If you're kind of like, I'm not really sure what my parents or caregivers like, just put in the comments video, and I will share with you 2 other links to videos that share a little bit more about these definitions. Okay, but let's talk about this dismissive one, okay? So if you would like to use your oils in helping with your attachment style moved more towards security, really 2 great oils for this is cedarwood and arbor vitae. These 2 tree oils here really help bring a sense of community, because if you think about a dismissive person, they're not experiencing community in their lives. They're wanting to kind of push some person away. So this is helpful when you're having trouble bonding socially with someone, being more emotionally connected. And the same thing with arbor vitae. This is really helpful when you're wanting to connect, to surrender to God and be more grounded and more trusting with people, okay? And if you'd like an affirmation to say with this, you can say, I'm trusted that I'm connected with Jesus. I'm perfectly safe and filled with gratitude. And those of you who's followed us a while, you know that affirmations are a very strong, scientifically based and research founded tool that you can use to really switch your brain and change it. Okay, so let's say you're falling in with the distracted or the anxious attachment style. 2 oils that you can use for this are bergamot and eucalyptus. And you can put these you can put one or both of these behind the ears. um, on the feet, over your hip bones even. Bergamot is an oil that if you're experiencing this anxious one, bergamot is accepting yourself the way that you are, and feeling more confident and hopeful and lovable. And eucalyptus is an oil that really helps with feeling more well. Okay. I'm looking some of these up so I make sure that but this is when you feel more encouraged and more liberated and responsible, so that you don't feel like that need to be overwhelmingly clingy. And an affirmation you can say with this is, I am safe, secure, abounding in grace, and I am whole in Jesus, right? You don't have some other person making you whole. You find your wholeness in Jesus. Okay, so what about the disorganized one? The one that is kind of like the touch and go, come, go away. The two oils I like best for this are two blends. The Serenity blend, the Restful blend, and Balance, the grounding blend. And these two together, even, I feel like really bring a sense of peace. And the affirmation for this is, Jesus brings me peace. Now, you know what? The commonality with all of these different attachment styles, other than the secure, is fear. And it's a deep longing that we have for intimacy, but when we don't know how to make it happen. And it's rooted in fear. And what's the antidote? Okay, I want you to write this Bible verse down. 1 John 4:8, and then also 18. It says, anyone who does not love does not know God, because God is love. And there is no fear in love. In fact, perfect love drives out all fear. So this goes back again to our foundation. When our foundation is rooted in that true lasting change through Jesus, then we can begin the process of transformation in our attachments with other people. Now, what's the opposite of fear? Faith. Yeah. It's a trust that you're safe and supported. It's a trust that all things are working out for my good. It's a trust that we have a confidence in God. And true faith is centered in Jesus, and it leads to action. So here is the action I want you to take today. I want you to look over the attachment styles again. If you want some a little bit more in-depth video explanations that they're kind of fun, just put in the comments video and I'll share those with you. It may take some talking to some friends who know you well enough to kind of talk through these and see where you typically lie. And then I want you to figure out one way that you can move from fear back into more secure attachments with others. Now, this takes time. And it takes getting messy with people and being open to change. And then I want you to go back to your Emmanuel journaling process to help you work through that. Now, I'm about to sign off. If you want some other tools to use with your oils during this process, I love using like diffuser bracelets like these, the silicone ones. Sometimes locally, if you're around other doTERRA wellness advocates, they'll host classes where you can make your own diffuser bracelets. I love these also for kids as they're going back to school. You literally can put it on your wrist and be able to breathe these in as you're going through some of these attachment styles. So next week, join me, because we're going to be talking about what are the big 6 emotions and how can they actually help us. So we're going to be free from the unknown, free from judgment, free to understand our bodies, and free to have joy and love our brains. So I'm looking forward to seeing you guys back here next week, and see you guys soon. Bye-bye.